So it's a commonly known fact that babies come from a woman's uterus, not from a friendly delivery stork, Richard.
Wait, what? What do you mean? That's what my mom always told me, man. You know my mom is always right, dog.
I'm not even gonna get started on this again. And that woman came from another woman's uterus. However, where did the first woman come from? Or the first man, for that matter? In fact, where did life even begin?
Oh, Miss Lady, I know this one. I swear I do. Please, I'll get it right this time. Just give me one more chance.
You can add your comments when I'm done talking, okay? Now, before humans even roamed the earth, some other living thing got here first. And that living thing is called bacteria. And it's still alive and kicking it today. I mean, there is the thing about how bacteria keeps multiplying and is always evolving. Should I tell them that? But then again, there is the possibility that the first bacteria that started it all is still on Earth.
Hey, yo, my man, speak up. Your boy can't hear the word you were saying. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, sorry you guys. But as I was saying, life first began with bacteria. So the question we will attempt answering today is, how did the bacteria form in the first place? So feel free to voice your own ideas of how you think the bacteria formed, or life for that matter, when I'm finished talking. Now, people first began wondering where life originated from around 3.5 billion years ago. Actually, they didn't really wonder, since they had already assumed that they knew where it came from, you know, as some people do. Richard. These people deem this idea of theirs on how life came to be as abiogenesis.
I think you mean biogenesis. I swear, people these days can't even get their words right.
I actually meant to say abiogenesis. Biogenesis is life being derived from other life, but abiogenesis is the theory that life came from non-life.
Okay, well in that case, I think you meant to say spontaneous generation.
What? No! Spontaneous generation is the hypothetical process in which living organisms develop from non-living matter.
Well then, I think you mean...
No, I didn't mean anything than what I meant to say. And I meant to say abiogenesis. Abiogenesis proposes that the first life forms generated were very simple. Richard. And through a gradual process became increasingly complex. Similar to my life.
Wait, who's proposing? Miss Lady, you getting married?
Nobody's getting married, Richard. I was just expanding on abiogenesis for someone. The reason people thought abiogenesis was a thing was because of certain situations that would happen in their everyday lives. For example, if someone happened to leave a piece of cheese and some bread wrapped in some rags and forgot it in a dark corner, people would believe mice would form in place of the food. Another example is how people thought leaving meat, more like decaying meat, maggots would appear. However, these creatures don't originate from the food. They already existed, but they were attracted to the food. So when the people came back to claim their food, they would find mice and maggots taking advantage of their forgotten bread, cheese, and meat. But then again, abiogenesis has neither been proved nor disproved.
Well then, if it's being neither proved nor disproved, why are you telling us about it? That's like you telling us that we here for something, here we here for nothing. Did I get that right?
Well, knowing about abiogenesis will give us some context when we begin talking about Harold C. Urey and Stanley Miller.
Harold Urey, more like Harold Urey. And alright.
I swear, why are you even here?
We need someone to make this video funny, and this dude right here ain't doing it.
Hey, I'm funny. Miss Pantry even told me I was witty. Anyway, speaking speaking of this video, can we get back to it? Not everyone was content with what abiogenesis had to say, which wasn't much to begin with in the first place. Yet in the 1920s, two people decided to delve further into what abiogenesis represented, and they set the foundation for further research. These two people, J.B.S. Haldane and Alexander Oparin, believed that organic molecules could be formed from abiogenic materials from an external energy source. The external energy source, you know, like ultraviolet radiation, UV rays.
Oh yeah, like the stuff that comes out of our microwaves, right?
No, that's electromagnetic radiation. You would understand it. So, Haldane believed that simple organic compounds became more complex and then formed cells in the presence of ultraviolet light. On a side note, Haldane also thought the early oceans were like a primitive soup that life came from, while Oparin believed that life came from small, spontaneously formed collections of lipid molecules held together by electrostatic forces.
Oh, wait a minute! Hold on. Are you talking about these lipids? Man, I knew carrying these around would come in handy one day.
No. But Oparin and Haldane's theories were just that, theories. It wasn't until 30 years later that someone took the Oparin-Haldane theory and was able to test it. In 1953, Stanley Miller and Harold C. Urey finally found a way to test the first step in Oparin's model through a simulation. However, they accidentally sort of ended up creating life.
Oh wow, that's so cool. This is real life Frankenstein stuff right here. You wanna know.
In their experiment,
Miller and Urey boiled water into vapor at the bottom of a flask and then passed it through an apparatus which had the gases ammonia, methane, and hydrogen. They then subjected this mixture to several 50,000 volt sparks before cooling it and trapping it at the bottom of the apparatus. This process was supposed to simulate the conditions of early Earth with the primitive ocean, prebiotic atmosphere, and heat in the form of lightning. After leaving this apparatus alone for 1 week, Miller and Urey found that the tar-like substance that had formed was organic molecules and amino acids. This was a pivotal breakthrough in science, as these special molecules were only thought to be built in the bodies of living creatures. This breakthrough also helped create the field of prebiotic chemistry.
however, scientists aren't even sure that the gases Miller used were actual common gases of the early Earth. Thus, a quest began to find the gases that started life. Scientists created more experiments to show how the molecules of life can form in a variety of environments, either with different starting chemicals or with different sources of energy. So while the Miller-Urey experiment wasn't perfect, it still demonstrated that biomolecules can form under ancient Earth-like conditions. And it turned the speculation that life came from chemistry and transformed part of that speculation into testable science.
Whoa, you smaller words, man. Some of us don't understand these big words you're using.
Hey, I understand perfectly fine, thank you very much. So what's the purpose of this Miller-Urey experiment anyway?
Well, first of all, it's Miller-Urey. Second of all, the point of the experiment was to prove that you can create organic compounds from prebiotic atmospheres through naturalistic forces. And since these conditions can be simulated, we can conclude that this is how life on Earth began, through the formation of organic compounds from the elements that were already present in the early Earth. Furthermore, Stanley Miller and Harold C. Urey indirectly redefined the definition of organic chemistry. Before their experiment, organic chemistry was defined as the study of carbon compounds, regardless of their origin.
What do you mean the definition has changed? Why would they change it?
You can stop flipping through the dictionary. It's been changed for a long time. And it had to be changed because the foundation of organic chemistry isn't some intangible life force. It's the unique chemical versatility of the element carbon.
I swear, these scientists be crazy, man. That's why when I grow up, I'm gonna be a biologist.
That is quite literally the same. It's not even worth it. Can I add my comment now, please?
Fine, but make it quick.
Okay, well, it's great that you believe that life started the way Marley and Ursula said it does. But that's not how life on Earth actually started. You see, life on Earth actually came from Luca. Luca is our last universal common ancestor. She says that all life on Earth has a common ancestor. She's kind of like our great.
Okay, we get it.
You do?
About time.
Well, Luca lived for about 2 billion years before there was much oxygen in the air. And also, Luca had enzymes containing iron in her metabolic pathways. The way much life did on early Earth.
That's great and all, but do you have any other information that would make your hypothesis seem more realistic?
Well, she did store her genetic information in DNA, and she had hundreds of proteins, each performing a variety of different functions. And she also used the same 20 amino acids that were found in our proteins. She used RNA, and she has some kind of double-layer lipid membrane. Ew. And also, she's probably the ancestor of the 3 kingdoms of life: archaea, eukaryotes, and bacteria.
Okay. Well, that's all I needed you guys here for today, so if you could see your way out the door.
Hey, yo, person, don't leave just yet. I wanted to ask you something. Look, there's this completely factual research project I've been doing on how life doesn't even exist. Now, get this. It's all in our heads, man. How's that for a simulation?
Oh, wow. Would you look at the time? I sure gotta go.
Forget him. Don't you understand that Luca is our past, present, and future?
I think
I'm just gonna go call up Luca.
Oh, yeah. I got some basketballs to run. 'Cause, I got a basketball game tomorrow.